Hi everyone, thanks again for joining me for this week's Soulmate Oracle reading. If this is the first time you're landing on this video, I give generalized readings focusing more in the love area, divine partners, soulmates, twin flames, twin rays, past life connections, because we are all unique and it's not particular to one type of soul connection. And if you're searching for your soulmate, this is a good reading to watch as well, because I try to go around it, because I'm not just focusing on one type. Like I said, it's a generalized reading for the world, and these readings are not necessarily meant to tell you what to do. You can follow through the messages and understand what you have in your life that you need to correct. Maybe they're something to inspire you, to motivate you, to help you to get through whatever you're going through. Sometimes it's a challenge in our life, and we need just that little bit of advice, just that little bit of a pep talk, or someone just to plant a seed to help us to think about things a little bit clearer, because sometimes we have ego, and ego is not a bad thing, but sometimes it could prevent us from gaining our true potential messages to help us empower our life and our relationship. You may be going through something. I don't know what that is. And I do offer email, phone, and chat readings. And the links are down below in my description area if you'd like to order your own reading. But these messages that I'm giving out are coming from the divine. They're not necessarily me telling you because I think that that's what you need to do. But no, you need to use them to your highest good, and whatever that may be. Now, like I said, everybody is different. Everybody is unique. I don't judge. I don't try to tell people what to do or point fingers. It's all about using love and light and following what our own intuition is, because it's your choice. We all have free will. Remember that. We all have the power to make our lives better. And if we can all stick together and be united, and I always talk about loving yourself, and I always talk about loving each other, because that's where it comes from. And just think, if everybody in this world did that, we'd have world peace. We would have so much love. And I'm a firm believer that maybe that might happen, but if it doesn't, I know I'm going to make my life the best that I can. And that's what I try to encourage with everyone. That's why I talk about positive energy and light given into the world, and just to follow what the positive light is inside of you. And if any of you know me on social media, you know that I'm always posting about loving yourself and positive affirmations, because that's the key to keeping our life empowered and full of love. Okay, so the cards that I used today were the very beautiful Whispers of Healing Oracle cards by Angela, I can't see that very well, Angela Hartfield, and the artwork is by Josephine Wall. Very beautiful deck, very magical and spiritual, as you can see from this deck. It's a newer one of my decks, but I'm getting to really love this one. Okay, so let's start with the reading, and the first card, now these cards are kind of landscape, and as you can see, it's strength. You can see the tiger. And this card represents a lot of strength. As you can see, this tiger is looking on into the world. And there are many dreams, there are many fantasies, there are many beings in the midst. There's an angel on top, I don't know if you can see, but it's all about having the strength to put out that energy and move forward. Sometimes we don't always do this. Sometimes we end up finding ourselves in a place where we're thinking negative, and we're not focusing on what that inner strength is inside of us. You can go on like this over and over, playing this over in your head. I need to empower myself. I need to do this. But if you're not actually taking the strength and using it to your highest good, you are not going to be strong. You are not going to stand still. Stand tall, I should say. You are not going to stand tall. You are going to fall. So you need to look from within. If your relationship right now is not going in a good direction, maybe there's a lot of insecurities that you're feeling, and the fear-based energy is coming back at you. This is the divine masculine that we talked about last week. Divine masculine seems to pull us down, and he's running from something. He strikes back, he takes that step forward, but then something just brings him right back to where he was before. He wants to have that strength. He wants to come forward. He wants to come into a place where he feels strong again. But he seems to go back to where there's a negative insecurity that he keeps playing back over and over in his mind, and it automatically pulls him down. It automatically pulls down his vibration, bringing him to a place where he's not going anywhere. He is totally at a standstill. And that's why this card is suggesting that you look inside yourself and stop feeling like you're not getting there, like you don't have enough inside of you, because you do. This card is telling you you do. You can do this. Whatever the challenge may be, maybe it's something to do with that person just not saying enough and not giving to you and not showing you enough because, well, let's face it, we're still in Mercury retrograde and the messages are not coming through the way they should. So you're not interpreting things. Maybe you're just talking through text or emails or not even talking at all. So you're automatically painting a picture black, and you're not really looking at the strength that you have inside of you, that you know that there is something there. Something there that needs to grow and develop and amplify higher. But it doesn't happen overnight. Remember, you have to work on it. The strength is inside of you, and you have to give in to that strength. You have to let that strength happen. I know, it's like when we work out, we have to lift weights or do resistance training to get our muscles stronger. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. Trust me, it doesn't. But you do see the results. One step at a time, little by little. Guess what? You have built muscle. You have built the strength. You have built the stamina to do this. And you know what? You can do this. Keep saying that to yourself. I can do this. It's a good word to keep saying in your mind. I can do this. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Vibration. Okay, I have to clear it. And as you can see, this is a beautiful, looks like a butterfly, or maybe it's a fairy. Very beautiful. And she's floating, she's flying, and there's another butterfly underneath her, and what it seems like a bat, but a friendly bat. Or some type of, yeah, it's a bat. She's flying into the atmosphere and trying to lift the vibration. Trying to lift the vibration into a higher level so that you can empower yourself. Now, the vibration has been lower. I know a lot of people have been feeling this, and maybe you're feeling a lower vibration. Not that it's your fault, but sometimes when you absorb and consume a lot because you've been giving in. You've been giving in to the fear. The fear-based energy, Divine Feminine is even giving in to the fear. She's strong, but though she's not saying enough to empower herself, she's letting go of her strength, she's letting go of her stamina. She's not allowing herself to rise up, and the vibration goes down. When there's a relationship in crisis, we tend to want to give up and say, I can't take this anymore. I can't do it anymore, because your vibration goes down. When that's not the case. It takes work to make a relationship. Maybe your husband or your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner is not seeing things energetically like you are. Your spiritual level is way higher, and you are usually a very positive person, but your vibration has been lowered. So I really feel like this is a message for someone to help themselves to empower all that, to lift themselves up and rise up against anything that is bringing their soul down, bringing their spirit down, because you will never have the strength to get through this time, this difficult challenge that you're going through. When you keep saying to yourself, oh, I'm never going to make it happen, it's never going to work for me, I'm not going to find the peace, the serenity, I know what Anne is telling me, but I don't understand, I just can't do it. Well, that's something you have to work on yourself. That's telling you that, not that I am saying this to you, not that I am telling you what to do, but I am just advising you that maybe that is a sign for you to look elsewhere to work on yourself. Maybe you're not doing it the way you should be. Like, I can make suggestions and recommendations on how to rise up and meditate to help yourself feel empowered, not to feel so down, depressed, anxiety, feeling lower inside, whatever it is, whatever you're going through. Because I don't know, but I know that there's a message that is being brought out, and it's something that you have to pay attention to. You're stuck, and you cannot live a life where you are just at a standstill and it's not going anywhere. Your love life is not where you want it to be. you haven't found the right partner. Maybe that person isn't who you thought she was or he was, and it's time to move on from him because he is not empowering you. Maybe it's very toxic. A toxic relationship is different than a relationship that's just going through some challenges. Remember that. I never recommend people to stay in a relationship, never, if they are being physically abused or feel like physically harmed, and you need to reconsider if there's anything going on in your life that seems in that area. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I can only advise you to do what's best for you. And especially if you have a family and if you have children and if you have you need to just take a step out of the box. Now, maybe your divine partner, maybe your soul connection seems a little feisty right now. Maybe he's going through something negative. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a toxic relationship, just means that he's going through something. So maybe you need to take a step back and let him work through those issues. Maybe it's not meant for you to try to fix and change, but more of like help him raise his vibration, because, you know, when you're connected to someone, your divine partner feels it. When you have a spiritual connection with someone, your soulmate, your twin flame, your twin is feeling your energy. Twin flames actually reciprocate energies to each other. And there's other divine soulmates that can do this as well. But right now I'm using twin flame as an example, just so that you can understand that when you feel down, your divine partner is feeling down as well. It's kind of like we get empathic with each other. When we are really tuned in to that divine soulmate in our life, that partner that we are sharing a life with, we actually can feel what they're feeling. And sometimes it's contagious. So if they're getting very negative, if they're feeling anxiety and they're going through something, I'm not suggesting that you help them. I'm suggesting that you just take a step back and let nature take its course, because this is a very, very difficult time for many of us, and I see it all the time. So you can do this. Remember, you have the strength. This could be your time right now to shine for that person to get the example of, I need to rise up and I need to vibrate higher. I mean, this is something that motivates people in some type of way. When you're working on yourself, they're working on themselves as well. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Ah, another landscape card. And let's clear that. It says awareness. And if we can clear that a little bit clearer. I apologize. There we go. Okay. And as you can see, it's a beautiful card. There's a baby inside. That's an infant. And a rainbow. And as you can see, there's lots of mystical energies that are around. Oh, we got blurry a little bit. But whatever's going on here, it's beautiful, it's mystical, it's magical. Having an awareness can actually help you to empower your life. Being aware of the situation versus trying to correct, trying to change, is the key. What we were just talking about, that person that is in your life is not getting it. And you're aware, you're awake. She's running or he's running from something. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're running in your house, that they're running outside. It means that they're running from something that is trapped inside of them, that they haven't looked at, that they haven't basically released. And that can go on for a long time. Runner and chaser stages, they're very unpredictable. And I've seen this happen with all of the divine soul connections. It's not necessarily twin flames like a lot of people believe. No, it happens with soul connections. And many times they mimic twin flames. So this is why I try to generalize it around everyone, because when there's a fear-based energy, guess what? There's a fear that we run. And it can happen with runners and chasers, and then the roles are reversed. I've seen this happen. Chasers become runners and runners become chasers. And whatever the case is, it's all about gaining strength to become aware, awake. When they're awake, yeah, it's a much lighter process, but it's not necessarily a bowl of cherries as well. It's not like smooth sailing, because they still have to work on themselves. Bringing up the vibration. There's someone maybe that you're trying to work with. You're trying to make them see the light, the love, because they're not coming back, or they don't understand a divine connection. Sometimes we share a soul connection with someone and they don't get it because they're not aware. When they're not aware, they run, or they just deny, or they resist, or they just don't want to accept it. So this is where I said before, taking a step back, just like I said, raising the vibration. You have to raise your own vibration because their vibration is bringing you down. You are aware. You have to be awake. You have to be courageous enough to work on yourself, work on your soul center so that things can come together. So things can become aligned, because if they're not aligned, you're not going to come together in divine union. Now, if you're trying to find that one person in your life, maybe you've been through so many different types of connections that it just seems like it's the same thing over and over, like a repeat of the relationship you've had prior, and it just seems like you just become more and more disappointed. Well, that's a time to just be aware of all of this. You've awakened, you've understood that this is a part of a process, so you have to open yourself. Maybe you're not letting go of the fear. The fear is what is causing you to feel lower inside. You're lowering your vibration, and this is something that can be picked up by anyone. When your vibration is lower, you are not bringing out the true love that you have in your heart. You're not sending out the right vibes. And by not sending out the right vibes, it can go around in circles, and it can go on like that for quite some time. Okay, so let's go to the next card. We're a little bit to the side. Okay, here we go with Transform. Very beautiful card. I just love looking at them. Like I said, it's a newer deck for me, so I just stare into the cards and I just visualize and I get messages, because that's where the messages are hidden. Butterflies, beautiful butterflies. And as you can see, they're flying all around this woman. And she's transforming into something of like a butterfly. I guess it represents the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. Now, you may be feeling down inside, like I said, but there's an awareness that you're getting. Awareness that you have to realize that it's time to transform into the butterfly that you are. You're not looking at your soul center. You're not vibrating higher. You're not allowing what is meant to happen in your life transform. Now, I know that everybody goes through difficult periods when it comes to a twin flame. I know that they go through the process of letting go and understanding what their lives are all about and their true purpose, and that happens even with the divine soulmate. Whatever that may be, it's time for you to transform. It's time for the divine union to come together with you and your divine partner. But sometimes it has to happen from within. If you're not connecting with your higher self, maybe you're not really looking at things energetically, maybe you're looking at it through an ego-based energy. Like, why doesn't this person get it? Why doesn't this person ever get it? Why does this person keep doing this to me? They're not doing it to you. You're actually doing it to yourself. Understand, it starts from within. When you're not giving in to the light that you feel inside of you, maybe you can be happy, you can be positive, yeah, you can do all these things, but are you really doing it? Because like I said, these readings are meant to give you something to take with inside yourself, become more of a empowered light to yourself and to others. But if you're not feeling it, you're not realizing it, you're not aware, you're not transformed. So this card is telling you it's time to settle down a little bit, take a step back. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so negative when it comes to why this person isn't giving to you. And sometimes we end up saying things or doing things that we regret afterwards. So instead, take a step back and be aware that you need to work on yourself. I really feel like this reading, the messages that are coming through are all about working on yourself, transforming, because there is something new, there is something brand new that's meant to happen. But it's not going to happen until you start working on yourself. And getting there it's a process. It's not easy. Sometimes we have to erase the ego. And I always talk about the ego because the ego sometimes can dominate us and make us feel like we've done something wrong, but actually we haven't done anything. We've just allowed ourselves to consume the world because we want to come to higher frequency, vibrate higher to a 5D level with our divine partner. And maybe that doesn't happen right away. Maybe that happens in layers. You have to apply it little by little by working on yourself. Now, I recommend all the time doing things for yourself. When I say doing things for yourself, self-care. Self-care comes first. You have to work on yourself, as in maybe it's time to start taking care of yourself better, eating right. Food is a big factor when it comes to feeling good about yourself, because that vibrates energy. And if you're not vibrating energy, if you've been like slacking off and eating processed foods and chemicals, and I'm not going to go into the diet scene because I know a lot of people are working on themselves, but they don't want to hear that. You have to do what's best for you. Also, exercise, meditate, I highly recommend, because it does bring out something of an inner glow inside of you. It always does. And those of you who work out and exercise will agree with me on this. So it comes into place with mind, body, and spirit. They go together, all three, in order to empower yourself. In order for you to transform, it's time for you to start. Especially now, we're in the middle of April. It's springtime. It's a new beginning. We're getting into a new day of light, and days are getting longer. Or it could be in fall. I mean, yeah, we're going into autumn, and many of you are seeing the opposite, but it still has a transforming effect because we are changing. Either way, it is changing. It's time to get ready for something to come, which is summer, which is winter. Now, these readings are not meant to tell you what to do, and I express that because a lot of you have been asking me questions about the readings, how it pertains to your life. You need to use it for your highest good. If it resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, I invite you to come back to this reading maybe tomorrow, the next day, later this evening, or tomorrow in the morning, or whenever you're watching this video, because I don't know. But you'll know what to do. Take notes on any reading that you get. If you get a reading online, if you get a reading from me, if you get a reading through YouTube or Facebook, take notes. Seriously. They do help with understanding the messages, because I get messages all the time. I get readings all the time to help me, to empower me, and help me decide on what path I'm going to take, because only you know. You're your own judge of how you're going to work through the challenges and obstacles that may be on your path, because that's what these readings are all about. Okay, so I really hope that you've enjoyed this reading, and if you like this reading, I hope you can give me the thumbs up. I appreciate the support and love that you've given me, and all my subscribers love you guys. I really do. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you can, because I do these readings on a weekly basis. I try to release them on a Saturday and at the latest Sunday, the weekend basically. And you will be notified as soon as they are released, as soon as I film them and post them on YouTube or Facebook. Also, if you'd like to get your own personalized reading, I do offer phone, chat, and email readings, which are, the information is down in the description area on my websites and blogs. Also, check out my articles about soulmates, twin flames, and also check out my YouTube videos. I have several other Q&A videos, and I try to talk more about divine connections, because that's where it comes from, within the spiritual energy. We're all unique. We are all meant to be with a certain type of divine partner, not necessarily this one or that one, because everybody is different, and we all don't meet the same type of connection. We all are sent different people at different times, different connections, I should say, at different times, in order for us to grow. And whatever the universe, whatever our journey, our destiny is, we have to follow by it. Okay? So until next time, God bless you all. Peace be with you. Namaste.